It's NVHA 080015, our 290th interview overall. It is May the 23rd, 2008, and we're at the home of Rod and Janine Compton in Frankton, Indiana, and we're going to interview Paul Compton, Rod's father, this evening. First of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to come and do this interview. Let's start off with the basics. What is your full name?
Paul Graham Compton.
Okay, now the Paul or the Graham, are those family names?
Neither one.
Neither one? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's a.
They're just names.
Yeah. You don't hear Graham too often.
Well,
That's
the Graham was named after a doctor.
okay. Yeah, I wondered if there was some kind of connection like that. Yeah, that's a good solid name. Makes you sound like a college professor or something like that. And what is your date of birth?
December 23rd, 1919.
Okay, almost a Christmas baby. And what was your rank at discharge?
Private first class.
Okay. Well, PFC Compton, where were you born?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Were you born at home or in a hospital?
At home.
At home. Okay. Was it your mother's home or maybe your grandparents' home? Or?
No, it was my mother's home.
Okay. Well, I take it she was there at the time.
Yes, she was there.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your mother. What was her name?
Myrtle.
Myrtle. And what was her maiden name?
Her maiden name?
Yes.
Hicks.
Hicks. Okay. And what would you tell folks about her? What was she like?
Oh, she was a wonderful woman.
Yeah. What, was she a quiet woman or an outgoing woman?
She was outgoing.
Yeah. Okay. Did she work outside of the home or?
She worked in the home.
Okay. Yeah. Was she involved in any kind of community things? Was she involved in any kind of community things like church or some kind of clubs or anything?
Yeah, she belonged to the Methodist Church in the I forget what they call that.
Yeah.
The women's.
Yeah, in one of the circles.
Woman's circle.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, she sounded like a very nice lady.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. And what about your father? What was his name?
Roy.
Roy. Okay. And what would you tell folks about him?
Well, he worked for the railroad company
Ah. Okay.
in Louisville until he bought a farm down in Greene County,
Okay.
and we moved there when I was 3 years old.
3 years old. Okay. So you probably don't remember much about Louisville at all.
No, I don't.
Yeah. But the farm. Did you grow up on the farm?
I grew up on the farm.
Okay. All the way through high school years and.
I didn't go through high school.
Okay. Okay.
Just went through grammar school.
Okay. And your father sounded like a pretty hard-working fellow. Anybody worked on the railroad and then was a farmer.
He worked on the railroad and worked at the farm.
Okay. Now, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Did I?
Yes, sir.
Had 2 brothers, 2 sisters.
Okay. Well, tell me their names and a little something about each one.
Well, Elmer and Clayman and Gladys and Elsie was my sisters.
Okay. Okay. Were any of the boys involved in service besides you?
No.
Okay. Mom was probably just as happy for that. Now, what do you remember about the farm? What kind of a farm was it?
It's the tobacco farm.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense down in that area.
Yeah, it was tobacco farm.
Yeah. Did you have any livestock, or was it just pretty much all tobacco?
Well, we grow corn and
Okay.
hay.
Yeah. Now, did your dad probably didn't have a tractor? I
No,
guess
I had mules.
Had mules? Uh-huh. Yeah. Was it a very big farm?
85 acres.
Well, that's pretty good size for a tobacco farm. Yeah. So, did you ever help out with the tobacco?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What kind of? Tell me about that operation. I don't know much about it.
Oh, well, you had to set the plants out in May, and then the work started then.
Okay.
we had to, as it grew up, we had to, what they call sucker it. The suckers grew out between the leaves.
Okay.
We had to cut them out.
Ah.
Then we had to cut it, leave it lay out for a few hours to wilt down before we could house it.
Yeah.
And then when it cured up, we stripped it.
Okay. Now, well, you'd hang it up in a barn with open
and
slats
tiers
in
and
it.
tiers.
Yeah.
And we stripped it in grades.
Okay.
Had 5 grades.
Now, how did you actually grade them?
Well, the leaf that growed next to the ground was the best.
Okay.
Was cigarette tobacco.
Okay.
And as you go up the stalk, it got coarser.
Would that be the chewing tobacco or what?
Yeah, they chewing tobacco,
Okay. Yeah.
cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's did you ever go to market with your dad?
Oh,
to sell?
yes.
Well, what's the story there?
Well, they had a big warehouse, and the buyers would come in the fall of the year,
Yeah.
just before Christmas, and they sold it that way.
Yeah. Was he able to make a pretty good living at it?
Yeah, it was pretty good money.
I've always wondered if that was a lot of work for little pay, or if it
There's
paid
a
off
lot of
pretty well.
work to it,
Yeah.
but that was the only cash crop he had,
Right. You had the hay and the corn.
and hay and corn.
You ever get involved in any of that?
Yes,
Well, what was your job?
well, just different things.
Yeah.
They worked. Worked in the field, planting.
Did you have one mule or two for your
2.
team? Had 2? Did they work pretty well together?
Oh yeah, they worked together good.
I've heard some fellows say they just had all kinds of trouble with mules. They just couldn't get them to do
Well, they
anything.
were gentle, both of them.
Ah.
I could ride either one of them.
Could you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were gentle. Wow. When you were a young boy on the farm, was there any place to play, like a creek or woods or some place where you could just go have a little fun fishing or something?
Well, the river about 5 miles away.
Okay.
We used to fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you? Was it the Ohio River that you were close to, 5 miles away, or another river?
It was Green River.
Okay. Okay. Would sound like a pretty good place for a boy to grow up.
Yeah, it was.
Were there? Did you ever go to Louisville very much, or?
Yeah, we visited the family down there.
Okay. Okay.
My dad had brothers down there, and we visited them.
So, how'd you get there? Did your dad have a truck or a car?
He had a Model T Ford.
Did he now? That's a lot of people for a Model T Ford.
It took all day to get there.
I bet it did. Did you manage to get there without any flat tires?
Pardon?
Did you manage to get there without any flat tires?
No. No. We always had flats.
I know we used to go over to Kokomo back when I was a kid. It seemed like we get a flat tire every time.
No, we did too. We got flat tires and had to take them off the rim and patch them and pump them up with a hand pump.
Yeah. Now, where in the world did what, you had 2, 3, 4, you had 5 kids, 2 adults stuffed into that Model T. Where in the heck did you sit?
Sit on Mom's lap.
Yeah, okay. You got the prime spot then. I'm just trying to imagine them hanging on the running board or something.
No, I sat on Mom's lap.
Yeah. No air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
Well, it gets kind of warm down there now.
It gets real hot.
And humid. You say you went to visit family. What family did you have in Louisville?
Just uncles.
Uncles, yeah. Did you know your grandparents any?
One grandparents was the only ones I knew.
Okay. Which one was that?
My mother's.
Your mother's mother?
Mother and dad.
Okay. Yeah.
My grandfather Compton, died before I was born.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you're.
I never knew him.
So your grandparents on your mother's side.
Yeah, but my grandmother on my dad's side lived with us.
Okay. Okay. And what was her name?
Sarah.
Sarah. And what was she like?
Well, she was kind of grouchy. I'll tell you a little story about her. We had an outhouse, and I was just a little tot.
Yeah.
And she was in that outhouse, and I locked her in. I got a licking for that.
Well, I don't blame her for being grumpy.
Yeah, she didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, I can't imagine you got by with that. Well, how about you on the other side, your mom's side? What were they like?
Well, they were real nice people.
Yeah.
We visited them quite often.
Yeah. Do you remember their names?
No, I don't.
Yeah. At that age, you would have called them Grandma and Grandpa and wouldn't have called them by their first names.
Called them.
Yeah. You probably didn't have electricity on the farm, did you?
No.
No?
Not until later on.
Yeah.
We did. It had the REA went through their Rural Electrification Association.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good thing.
Yeah, it was.
It would have been a lot longer for people to get electricity.
It was really a blessing.
Yeah. Sure was. And so, well, how old were you when you finally got electricity?
I was about 15.
15? Okay. So you learned to live without.
Yeah.
When you were a young boy, did you have any personal heroes? Could have been somebody in the family or somebody in the community or just somebody you kind of looked up to and thought was pretty special?
No, not really.
Not really? Yeah, you're pretty kind of a little isolated in that area.
Yeah.
Were there any farms close by?
Any what?
Any farms close by?
Oh, yeah, we had neighbors.
Okay.
Neighbors.
Do you have any friends your age from the other farms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, one especially.
Now, who's that?
That was Guerin.
Okay.
Guerin Gentry.
Okay. Did you keep up with him over the years, or?
Yeah. We fished together.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school, grade school?
At Maple Hill.
Okay. And what kind of school was that?
It was just a one-room school.
One-room school? And how many grades were in that school?
All 8 of them.
All 8 of them? Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think of that situation? Was it a good way to learn?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. I've heard fellows tell me that when you were in the young grades, you would hear the lessons of the older grades, and by the time you got up there, at least you had some exposure to them.
Yeah.
Might not have understood them when you were little, but you'd heard them in the back of your mind and had retained some of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember your teachers?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you just have one teacher?
Just had one teacher.
Okay. And You remember a man or a woman?
I had a man and some women too.
Okay. See that? Well,
They changed about every 2-3 years.
okay. Yeah. Guys must have wore them out.
It did.
Now you said you didn't finish high school. Did you go to high school? Get started? Or?
No, I
No?
didn't even go.
Okay. You went. Did you go through the 8th grade?
Yes.
All right. So let's see. You'd been. Well, let's see how old you'd been in that. You've been what, about 12 or so, 12 or 13 when
About 13.
About 13. And what'd you do from that point? You go to work just farming or?
Farming.
Okay. Now, why'd you stop? Why didn't you go to high school? Was it just?
Well, they needed me on the farm.
Yeah, yeah.
And besides, they didn't have school buses then. And it was about 6 miles to Greensburg, the town.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been kind of hard.
I had to walk.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, working on a farm, you're probably pretty good shape. You could have done it.
Yeah, I could have done it.
A little tough to do when it gets a little snowy. 6 miles is a long way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do you regret that you didn't go to high school, or
Pardon?
do you regret the fact that you didn't?
Yeah, I regretted that I didn't, but it was too late.
Well, you probably did okay in life, though. Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to have a certain level of education to do well.
I've done all right, I think.
Yeah. So you went to work it was on your dad's farm where you were
Yes.
working? Okay. And when did you get your first paying job? Was your dad paying you to work there, or?
No, well, yeah, he paid me,
Yeah.
bought my clothes, and
Okay.
fed me.
Yeah.
He gave me a little money on the side.
Yeah.
He didn't have a whole lot, but
I can imagine that. What about the Depression years? Did they hit you pretty hard?
well, we didn't know there was a depression.
You're already there.
We had plenty to eat, and
Yeah.
our clothes got kind of ragged, but
Yeah. Didn't have anything in the first place, so you didn't lose anything,
didn't
did you?
lose anything.
Yeah. So you continued to work on your dad's farm. Did you work on any other farms or any other work before you got into the service?
Well, I helped the neighbors. I hauled out to them
Okay.
when the work was done on our farm.
Okay.
They paid me for that.
Was it the same kind of farming? Tobacco
Same
farming?
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the hardest part about tobacco farming?
Well, it was all hard.
All hard. Nice and even.
Yeah, it was all hard.
Yeah. When you cut the suckers off, you had to use a knife, or could you pull them off? I mean, how tough?
Pull them off.
You pull them off? They were fragile enough you could do that?
They were tender.
Yeah.
You just pull them off.
Yeah, okay. So what made it so hard?
Well, I don't know, it was just a disagreeable job.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you keep the weeds out of the field? Did you go out with a hoe, or?
Oh,
Yeah. That's good back-breaking work.
it is.
Yeah. Well, when you did you ever have a radio at home, or?
Yeah, we had a battery
Okay.
radio until we got electricity, then we got a
Electric.
electric.
Radio. Yeah. So what? You remember some of the programs you used to listen to?
Yeah, we used to listen to Major Bowles' Amateur Hour.
Oh, there you go.
And I used to listen to a country western music out of Del Rio, Texas, early in the morning.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Kind of listening to those radio broadcasts from far away, did you ever think that someday you might be traveling the world or going far from home?
Pardon?
When listening to those broadcasts from so far away, did you ever think that you'd be traveling much, or?
No, I never thought about it.
Just kind of thought you'd be just pretty much in that area.
I thought I'd just probably stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you remember hearing about Pearl Harbor when it?
Oh yeah, I was in service when.
You're already in service.
I was already in service.
Okay. Now, when did you actually join the service?
August the 6th, 1940.
Oh, you remember that one. So, what was the situation? Why did you wind up getting involved in?
Well, I figured I was going to get drafted.
Okay.
So you had a choice of what you wanted if you enlisted. And I wanted the armored cavalry, and that's what I got.
Okay. All right. So you joined the Army. And so armored cavalry? Are you talking about tanks? And
Had tanks.
okay. Yeah. And why did you choose that? Why did that stand out to you?
Well, I didn't care much for the infantry. So
Well, poor infantry, nobody cares for them.
no, I thought if I was going to war, I might as well ride.
There you go. That sounds good. Now, why not the Navy?
No, I never thought about the Navy.
Yeah. So, kind of take me down the path. You enlisted in the Army in August of '40. Where did you actually join up, in Louisville? Did you join the Army in Louisville?
In Louisville.
Okay.
They sent me to Fort Knox.
Fort Knox. Okay, that makes sense. And tell me about boot camp. How was it? Was it pretty tough, or?
Well, it was pretty tough. We had some pretty tough officers.
Had to be easier in tobacco farming, though.
Yeah, it beat that. Anything beat that.
That's the thing I always get a kick at. You get these city boys that never did anything like that, and the Army, oh, it was the toughest thing I ever went through, and then you get these guys that have been on the farm all their life. It was almost like a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the Army.
Yeah. So, did your drill instructors, did they have a favorite punishment they'd lay out to some fellow who wasn't getting along?
Yeah, they make you do push-ups.
Yeah. Did you have to do very many push-ups?
I never did. I kind of kept my nose clean.
Well, after that incident with your grandmother, I could see why. You didn't lock anybody in the Army outhouse, did you?
No, I didn't.
When you went into your training, did you go into tanks eventually?
No, I had what they call a reconnaissance car.
Okay, okay.
It was a wheeled vehicle.
Okay, was it an armored wheel?
Yeah, it was armored.
Okay, I think I've got a pretty good idea what it was. And did you ever get into the tanks themselves? And
Oh yeah, I rode in tanks.
okay. Did they teach you how to fire the weapons or drive the tanks or anything like that?
They taught us how to drive.
Okay. Now this reconnaissance car, was it more like a regular truck with a regular steering wheel and?
A regular steering wheel.
Okay, it wasn't like the levers like you'd have with a tank. It
No,
was all wheels.
No,
it
was
wasn't
all wheel.
no treads.
Full wheel.
Okay. Yeah. And did you do all of your training at Fort Knox, or did you go on to?
I'd done all my training there.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good place for it.
It was a good place for training.
Well, did you run across Patton while you were there?
Not at Fort Knox.
Not at Fort Knox. I know he was big. He was kind of the father of the armored.
Yeah, he was a good tank man.
Yeah. So were you at Fort Knox when the war broke out?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember how you heard about it? They come and tell you, or did you hear it from?
We heard it on radio.
On radio. Yeah. Yeah. What was your reaction?
Oh, we just took it as it come.
Yeah. They probably put everybody on pretty high alert then, didn't they?
Yeah, well, we was on high alert.
Yeah. Did you suspect that we were going to get involved with the Japanese, or did you think we were going to be fighting the Germans instead?
I never thought about the Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah, most people, they could see the war in Europe and thought, oh, we're probably going to get mixed up in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went to Europe instead of the East.
And what's your reasoning for that, for the record?
Well, I thought it would be easier fighting the Germans than it was the Japanese.
Yeah.
They were fanatic.
That's true. That's true. And not only what a lot of fellows thought, but that turned out to be the fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So from Fort Knox, where did you go?
Went to Fort Dix.
Fort Dix? Okay. And what kind of training did you do down there?
Well, we didn't really do any training. We just was there. It was close to New York.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we sailed out of New York.
Okay, so that was just a staging area then.
A stationary thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember the day you sailed out?
May 7th, I believe it was.
Wow, you're good. You've got a good memory. Yeah. You remember what the situation was? Did they come in and say, "Okay, pack it all up. Let's get going"?
Yeah, that's about the way it was.
Yeah. I heard one fellow tell me that they were so weighted down going onto that ship that they looked like turtles walking up there.
Yeah, it was. You had a lot of equipment.
Do you remember what ship you sailed on?
I sailed on the Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. Oh, first class. Not bad at all.
Well, it wasn't first class. It was a Queen Mary.
Good point.
They had bunk beds built in it.
Yeah. So where did you sleep in it?
Slept below deck.
Yeah. Were you below the water line? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what, bunks were about 5 or 6 high maybe?
About 4.
About 4?
4 high.
Yeah. You managed to get one of the top ones or the middle ones or the bottom one?
I was on the top.
You're on top. That's the best place to be.
Yeah.
So how'd you, now you probably didn't have a convoy. It probably went on its own.
It went on its own.
Because it was fast enough to outrun.
It was fast enough that it could outrun a sub.
Yeah. What about the trip over? Was it rough or gentle, or just how was the ocean going over?
It was mild.
Okay. Yeah. So did you get seasick or?
No, I didn't.
All right.
Some of the guys did.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't much fun.
No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't. A buddy of mine begged me to shoot him. He was so sick. I felt sorry for him.
Now that's a first.
That doesn't surprise me.
That surprised me, but that's a first.
We interviewed this one fellow, and he says he was just sicker than a dog all the way over, and his buddy was just making all kinds of fun of him. When they came back, it was just the opposite. He was fine, and his buddy was sicker than a dog. So he got payback on that one. You left out of New York And where did you land? Scotland or England?
And it landed in
In
Scotland,
Scotland? Probably what, Glasgow or thereabouts?
Glasgow.
Okay. And what's the time frame on this? When did you actually go over? What year?
What year was that?
Yeah, what year did you go across?
That was in 1942.
42? Well, you went over early. Yeah, I kind of wondered, being in the Army that early, just...
Yeah, it was 1942.
Yeah. And then did you go to a base in England?
We went to Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland? Oh, okay. Okay.
We spent 5 months there training with the British.
Okay. And was it all? Was that a British armored division as well, or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And what did you think of Northern Ireland?
Oh, Ireland was a beautiful country.
Yeah.
I liked it.
How did the people treat you there?
Treated us great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all friendly.
Now I've heard that in the Catholic part of Ireland, that they didn't necessarily go along with all of it because they were still angry with the British.
Yeah, they still are, I think.
Yeah, and that sometimes they'd cause a little mischief to the troops and the supply dumps and what have you over there. But it sounded like in Northern Ireland you were probably in pretty good hands.
We were in pretty good hands there.
What about the sleeping accommodations? Were you sleeping in tents or in barracks? Or?
Quonset huts.
Quonset hut, okay. Yeah. Good old Quonset huts. That was a good idea that somebody
I
came
don't know
up
if
with.
you've ever seen one or not.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what we slept in.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Herman Wells one time. He was the chancellor of Indiana University, and he pointed me out a window and he said, "You see those Quonset huts over there? Those were temporary buildings put up during World War II. He says there's nothing more permanent than a temporary structure." So, this in 1967 or something like that. Still there. So you were in Ireland for a while. What do you think of the British you were training with? What were they like?
They were fun. They talked funny. But they were nice. They were good people.
What do you think of their military methods? Were they seem a little odd to you?
Yeah, they were a little odd.
Yeah. Now, did you stay in Northern Ireland, or did you wind up going over to England eventually?
We went to our England.
Okay. And that became your staging area for the invasion.
That was we was there 6 weeks,
Okay.
and we invaded North Africa.
Okay. So you went to North Africa.
Yes.
Oh. Well, did you meet up with Ernie Pyle along the way? He went.
No, I didn't. I read his stuff all the time.
Yeah. He talked about making that voyage to Africa from England.
Yeah.
Of course, there were a lot of ships going that direction.
Yeah.
Now, going to, did you know you were going to Africa at the time?
No.
No, you just knew you were supposed to get on a ship and go somewhere.
Go somewhere we didn't know where.
Well, did you make the Queen Mary this time, or did they put you on something else?
No, they put us on something else. Smaller one.
Yeah. So how did that stack up to the Queen Mary? Probably wasn't as good a ship, was it?
No, it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Wasn't as fast, but we was convoyed.
Yeah. Yeah. Did the Germans attack the convoy at any time?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we was told if our ship was hit, well, they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop the convoy
Yeah. So.
to get us out.
Was this a military transport or a merchant ship that you were
A
on?
merchant ship.
Merchant ship, okay. Yeah. And What about the travel down there? I mean, was it kind of choppy or just about like the Atlantic crossing?
About like Atlantic crossing.
Yeah. Now, I've heard that when you go into Gibraltar, it gets a little rough there.
Well, we went through the Straits,
Okay.
but I don't remember it being rough.
Of course, the roughest part is that you get more U-boats in that area because they concentrate.
Yeah,
Did you see any ships that had been hit or?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a tanker that blew up.
Oh boy.
It was hit.
Wow. I bet you could see that one for a ways. A lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you went into Gibraltar. You remember much about going past Gibraltar? And
Not a whole lot.
yeah,
I just seen the big rock.
yeah. What'd you think of that?
It was something.
Yeah,
For an old farm boy.
yeah. Yeah, you were probably thinking, how would we get that thing out of the field?
Yeah, I've wished a few times I was back there.
Yeah, yeah. I'll bet. So, you went to Northern Africa. Do you remember where you landed?
In Oran.
Oran. Okay, that would make sense. And when you got off the ship, were you pulled up to a dock, or did you have to get down into
You
landing
had to
craft?
get down in the water.
Okay. Yeah. So you climbed down a rope ladder to get there?
Climb down a rope ladder.
Yeah. Anybody fall in the water, or did they all make it?
They all made it.
Yeah. That to me would seem awful nerve-wracking. You're carrying all that heavy equipment on your back and trying to climb down this ladder, and the ship's bouncing up and down.
It was.
Yeah. So you got in your landing craft and you landed on the beach somewhere.
On the beach.
And did you, where did you stay that night? Did you go farther inland and?
We were just further inland.
Okay. And how close are we? We got two. So what did you think of Africa when you first saw it?
Not too much.
Yeah.
It was dirty.
Yeah, I've heard that said.
It was filthy.
Did you see any of the Arab people
Oh yeah,
going in?
all the time.
Okay. Yeah. So I've heard some fellows say you had to be kind of careful where you went.
Yeah, you did. But they was all around us. The Arabs was begging.
Yeah. I heard that the one thing you could get there was oranges. They had lots of oranges.
Had lots of oranges.
Your first night in Africa, you probably slept in tents.
Slept in pup tents.
Okay. And everybody thinks of Africa as being a warm country. How warm was it that night?
It was pretty hot.
Yeah, was it? Yeah. Now, the area that you were in, was it sandy, rocky?
Sandy.
Yeah, okay. You were still pretty close to the Mediterranean at that point.
Yeah.
Now, did you stay there very long, or did you move out?
I was there about 16 months.
Okay. But I mean, that particular location in...
No, went up into Tunisia.
Okay. All right. And was Tunisia different from the Oran area?
Yes.
And how so?
More, the ground around was more fertile, and trees.
Yeah. More like you'd see at home than.
More like you see at home.
Okay. Yeah. So, what'd you get involved in Tunisia? Did you get involved in any battles there?
Oh yes.
Okay. What
Lots of them.
What were some of the places that you engaged the enemy?
Kasserine was one of the worst.
You were at Kasserine, okay.
Kasserine Pass.
Now I'd heard we got our nose bloodied pretty good there. That it was a.
We got our nose blooded.
Yeah. Describe your part of it, what you saw there.
Well, we were on patrol, and we could see German tanks coming in the distance. It was raising dust
You just dust from
from them. And I was on the radio, and the lieutenant told me to get the captain on the radio, and he wanted to talk to him, and I did. And he told the captain what he'd seen, and he told us to get out of there. He didn't want us captured.
Yeah.
But the Kasserine Pass was bloody.
Now,
We lost a company.
wow.
They all got captured.
Yeah, the Germans were pretty strong there.
They were strong then.
What about air support? Did they have pretty good air support at the time?
We didn't.
We didn't, but they did?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, that they used to strafe us every day.
Well, I bet you can remember that sound.
That's something I'll never forget.
Well, those Stuka
Stuka dive bomber.
made that high-pitched noise when they were coming
Yeah,
in?
they made a noise.
Yeah. When did they normally get you? When you were like in a convoy? Or just kind of out by yourself? Or
Out by ourselves.
just anywhere? Now, the type of work you were doing, you were probably ahead of the infantry, weren't you, doing recon work?
Yeah, we was recon work. We were ahead of the infantry.
Yeah. So, how far ahead of them would you say you were? 2 miles, 5 miles?
3 miles.
3 miles, about that? Close, but not quite close enough to them.
Got close enough.
You could very easily get captured out there.
Yeah, we could come awful close to it.
Did you happen to witness any tank battles between our guys and their guys? And the
Pardon?
Germans? Did you happen to witness any tank battles between our forces and the Germans?
Yes.
How'd we do against them?
Well, our tanks was no match for them. They had better tanks.
Those would have been the Panzer tanks at the time, I think.
Panzer,
Tigers, I believe, came over.
Tiger tanks.
Yeah. Boy, I wouldn't want to put up with them.
Oh, they were good tanks.
Yeah. Did they have a soft spot anywhere?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. I just kind of wondered how in the world we would ever overcome one.
Oh, we began to get better equipment.
Yeah.
We better got bigger tanks and we just overpowered them.
Yeah, it seemed as though they would probably just have to have several tanks surrounding one of theirs to do any good.
Yes.
Now, on recon work, did you ever run across any German snipers, or
No, never did.
never did? Ever get close to
Never
possibly
did
being
get
captured?
close enough that we wasn't bothered with snipers.
Yeah. Any? Did you ever come close to being captured? Besides that one time at the Kasserine
No,
Pass?
that's the only time we could come close to being captured.
You could very easily have been cut off in that situation.
Yeah, we could very easily.
I've always been kind of curious about. I know the Germans were pretty good about mining roads and what have you.
They were the best.
Yeah. Did they do that pretty heavily in North Africa?
Yes, they did.
That's another hazard you would have on recon. You'd be out ahead of everybody, and You could run into a minefield.
We did.
awfully
We
easy.
run into minefields quite often.
Yeah.
We never hit one personally, but we seen them when they hit.
Well, pretty sickening feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's a fellow who's fighting against you. You can see him, and you can kind of, it's kind of fair game. But a mine is something that just comes up out of nowhere and
Yeah.
does the awfulest damage. Were there any battles in North Africa where we had the Germans on their heels? I mean, some battles that you might have been involved in?
Any what now?
Any battles that you were involved in North Africa where we were actually pushing the Germans instead of them pushing us?
Yes. Yes.
Just sort of as things went along, they got better?
It got better.
Okay.
They couldn't keep fuel. That was their problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's true. The bigger tanks, too, they'd use more fuel.
And they couldn't keep fuel, and we began to get air support.
Makes a big difference.
That made a big difference.
Yeah. How about supply lines? Did the supplies keep up with you pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good. Yeah. Now, Patton got involved in the war in North Africa. He came and took over from another general.
Yes.
Who did you actually report to? I mean, what army unit were you in?
I was in the 5th.
Okay, you were in the 5th. And was Patton your commander at that time, or?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see him in North Africa?
Yeah, I saw him once.
Okay. And what was your impression of him?
Well, I didn't want any closer to him. From what I heard about him.
Yeah, he draws some pretty strong emotions.
Yes, he did.
You love him or you hate him. Yeah. Where were you when you saw him?
He was in a place called Mature.
Okay.
A little village called Mature. He was in his tank.
Okay. Oh, tell me about his tank. Was his tank different from any other tank?
No, it was just the same.
Same?
The big Tiger tank.
Okay. And did you get out of the tank and wave to you or anything, or?
No, he didn't. He stayed in his tank.
Yeah, just went roaring past. Didn't stop to ask you for advice, or?
No.
Oh man. So, the Africa thing eventually settled down, and we got the better hand of the Germans.
Yeah.
And then Africa became a
200,000 surrendered.
Did you see any of the surrender?
Oh yes. We're right in the middle of it.
Huh. And now the Germans that surrendered, what were they like? I mean, were they sort of angry about surrendering, or were they happy that the war was over for them, or?
I think most of them were happy that it was over.
Germans are always happiest when they stop fighting, and yet they keep starting all these wars. I can't figure that out. Did you happen to see Montgomery while you were in
No,
Africa?
I never did.
Yeah. What'd you think of him?
Well, I wasn't too crazy about him.
He seemed crazy enough about himself.
He was. Had a lot of ego.
Yeah. He was kind of their it was the British answer to MacArthur, I think.
Yeah.
Now, from Africa, did you get involved in the invasion of Sicily?
Yes.
All right. Where did you actually leave Africa to go to Sicily?
When?
Where were you when you left Africa?
We was in Oran.
Back in Oran
We were
again?
back in Oran.
Okay. And went over on an LST or a troop ship, or?
We went over on a troop ship.
Okay. So were you in on the initial landings in Sicily, or did you go in after?
We went in after.
Okay. So were they still fighting on Sicily when you went in, or had they subdued the island?
They subdued the island,
Okay.
and we went in.
Well, you didn't miss anything.
Didn't miss anything.
Where did you actually go into Sicily?
You know, I can't remember the name of it.
There's a Medina is about the only one
Medina.
Was that it?
Medina.
All right. And what did you think of the Sicilian people when you got there? Were they cheering that they were liberated or something?
Yeah, they were pretty happy.
Yeah. You were in Medina.
Yeah.
Were you there very long?
Not too long,
Okay.
because we went to Italy.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't have been long to go in. Still doing the recon work.
Yes.
Okay. Where did you actually go in Italy?
In Naples.
Naples? Oof. That was not a good place to be.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. The fighting was still going on when you got there?
Yes.
Yeah. So, how would you describe the situation there in Naples?
Well, it was. I remember the artillery more than anything.
Yeah.
They was using that artillery.
There wasn't any rear area there, was there?
No, there wasn't any rear area.
You were on the line.
They were on the line. They had every foot of ground zeroed in. They was even bombarded the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you actually stay while you were there? Did you on the beach or
We were pretty much on the beach.
yeah, probably dug in pretty deep.
Yeah, we dug in.
And I'm trying to think. Is that where they had the castle on the hill? I'm trying to think. They were shooting down from a castle, and Monte Cassino was where that was. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So you were. How long did it go on? I mean, you being pinned down on the beach like that.
Oh, it was about 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks. And what actually broke it open for you?
Well, I had a breakout. Broke through.
Okay.
We had complete control of the air.
Okay.
It was a blessing. And the planes got to the artillery, knocked it out, and we broke through.
That had to have been something to see too, watching all those big bombers coming over.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We'd see them coming over, going into Germany.
Yeah. Did you have planes that were ground support, like fighter planes that would come in?
Yeah, yes we did.
And help you out?
Had P-38s.
Mm-hmm. That was a good plane.
They're a real good plane.
Yeah. Kind of an odd-looking thing.
Pardon?
Kind of an odd-looking thing, but it got the job
it was
done.
twin fuselage.
Yeah. Now, what was the weapon that the Germans had that gave you the most trouble was it the 88s or?
The 88s.
Yeah,
The 88, without a doubt.
yeah. Heard a lot of guys say that. They'd use that on a soldier just as easy as they would a tank.
Yeah.
When the breakout finally occurred, where did you go from there?
We went to France.
Okay. So did you get into Rome any while you were there?
Yeah, we got into Rome.
Okay. What'd you think of Rome?
It was a big place.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of old history there.
A lot of history.
Did you get to do any kind of sightseeing?
Yeah, we got a little, we seen the ruins,
You see the Colosseum or?
Colosseum, and we saw the ruins of Pompeii.
Went to Pompeii? I kind of wondered if you'd.
Yeah, we went to Pompeii.
And was Vesuvius erupting at the time? Was Mount Vesuvius, was smoke come out of it at the
Yeah,
time?
it was still smoking.
Yeah. I know about that time it went off. What'd you think of Pompeii?
Huh?
What'd you think of Pompeii when you went there?
Well, it was kind of neat.
Yeah. Had they dug it out very much to where you could see the way it was before the volcano overwhelmed it?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Now, some fellows made it over to the Isle of Capri. Did you get a chance to go there while you were?
no,
No, didn't make it that far.
didn't make it that far.
Ah. Now, you say you went to France. Where did you actually leave Italy to go to France? Did you leave from Naples?
Left Naples,
Okay. And you went to where? Marseille, maybe?
Le Havre.
Le Havre. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you went in. Did you go in through Normandy or?
No, we didn't go through Normandy.
No, you went.
Went through Le Havre.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think.
Le Havre South.
That's the south. Okay, you went through the southern part. And the Normandy invasion had already taken place at that point.
Yes,
I think they broke into Normandy the same day that Rome fell, as I recall.
same day that Rome fell.
Okay, now here's another one for you. What did you think of Mark Clark? General Mark Clark.
Well, a lot of people didn't like him. I thought he was all right.
Yeah. Yeah, people have some opinions about him too.
He was kind of arrogant,
Yeah.
but he was smart.
I know the fighting in Italy was pretty tough, and a lot of people didn't give him much of a break on that, him being in charge.
No, we didn't. But I thought he was a good general himself.
Just out of curiosity, did you happen to run across a fellow by the name of Frank Roberton while you were in Naples?
No,
Yeah, Frank's from here in Anderson, and he was in that area. I've known him for a long time. So you went through the Havre. You're into southern France. How did French people treat you when you were there?
they treated us well.
Did they? Okay. I know there were some French that were sympathetic with the Nazis and stayed with them, and they actually fought us.
Vichy,
Yeah, the Vichy.
the Vichy government.
Yeah. When you went into Africa, did the French give you any trouble there?
Oh, yes,
Okay. They fire on you?
yes.
Okay. Didn't work too well for them, did it? We
No,
fired
it
back.
didn't. Yeah,
Yeah, everybody thinks of the French. They see that scene in Paris where everybody's cheering and hugging and kissing, but not all the French were were on our side.
No, not all of them.
But you got a pretty good reception when you made it to France.
Yeah, we did.
And from Le Havre, where did you go from there?
Oh, we went. I can't remember. We were all over France.
Yeah. Still doing the recon work.
Yeah, still doing recon work.
Now, when the Battle of the Bulge broke out, I know Patton raced his army. They'd sort of gone around Paris, and they raced back toward Belgium to get involved in that and help the fellows out. Did you get involved in any of that?
No.
Okay. So you stayed in France, and then did you get into Belgium or the Netherlands, or just from France you go into Germany?
No, I went into Germany from France.
Okay. Do you remember where you crossed into Germany?
Strasbourg.
Okay. Was it a pontoon bridge?
Was it what?
It was a pontoon bridge or a regular bridge when you crossed the Rhine?
It was a regular bridge.
Okay, well, you got lucky then. Where did you fight the Germans very much in France, or did you get more into it with them when you got into Germany?
Well, when we got into Germany, it was mostly at guard duty,
Okay. Okay.
prisoners,
Okay.
taking care of them.
Did your unit have any battles with the French, or I mean with the Germans in France or in Germany?
In France, we did.
Okay. Did you ever go up through the Siegfried Line or anything like that?
No.
Now, when you got into Germany, did you see any women troops? I've heard it said that in that part of Germany they had some women who were fighting for the Germans.
I've never seen any myself.
Yeah. And what about Hitler Youth, any of the young ones?
I've seen them, yes.
I heard they were pretty tenacious. They'd fight to the death,
Yeah, they would.
whereas an older fellow would have more sense and know when to surrender.
They didn't know enough to surrender.
Yeah. Did you come across any older Germans who were forced into the fighting?
Yeah, we had, well, after the war was over, I was there for about 2 months. Occupation.
Yeah.
And we had servants, German troops,
Huh.
and they was older,
Yeah.
up in their 40s and early 50s. They've done our laundry, and we had it pretty good there.
I bet they were perfectly happy to do laundry for you as opposed to doing laundry for the Russians.
Yeah, they were happy to do that.
When they did surrender, did they just surrender in droves and just,
Yeah,
yeah.
they surrendered.
Did you manage to pick up any souvenirs while you were there?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Where did you finally end up when the war ended? Were you in Germany or in Austria or?
In Germany.
Okay, in Germany. You know whereabouts in Germany?
No, not really.
Okay. But you weren't there very long for occupation.
No,
you had all kinds of points from being in so early, I would
Yeah,
think.
I was just there a couple months.
Yeah. What about the German people themselves? How were they toward you?
Well, they kind of took it as it come.
Yeah. I heard they were pretty hard up, some of them.
Yeah, they was.
fact, probably if it weren't for some of the GI rations, they might have starved to death.
Well, they would have.
People helping out.
They even like sea rations.
Did you like sea rations?
No.
How did you eat along the way? I mean, did you live pretty much off of C and K rations, or did you?
Yeah, we ate pretty much on sea rations.
Yeah. Did you ever have a chance for a hot meal?
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Not too often.
Yeah. Did you ever have a chance for a USO show in any?
No, I never did.
No? Bob Hope didn't come to see you?
Never did get
Oh,
to
that
see it.
scoundrel. So, where would you say that the toughest fighting was the whole time you were over there?
I'd say that the artillery there in Italy
Yeah, that
was the toughest.
and the Kasserine Pass. You saw some tough battles.
Kasserine Pass was tough,
Yeah,
but it didn't last long.
yeah, that's good. Naples, it just went on, and you had
It
nowhere to
went on and
go.
on.
They were even hitting ships out in the harbor.
Yes.
You couldn't even go out in the water and be safe.
Pardon?
You couldn't even go out in the water somewhere on ship and be safe.
Yes.
So you went through your occupation duty, and what was the path back home? Where did you go from there? Did you go back to Le Havre and ship out from there?
Shipped out from Le Havre.
Okay.
He come home on a Liberty ship.
Okay. Well, that's a come down from the Queen Mary.
Yeah. Took us 11 days to get home.
Oh, boy. How was the ocean going back then?
It was November and it was rough.
Yeah, I've heard that said.
North Sea in November.
North Atlantic was pretty rough.
Yeah.
It seemed like the ship was going up and down more than going forward.
It probably was. The waves ever get up over the top of the ship, or
Yeah,
that put the fear in you.
it did, because I couldn't swim.
Yeah. I don't think it would have made any difference if you could.
Wouldn't been any difference if I could have.
I've heard some fellow say that when the stern of that ship comes out of the water, those engines just shake the whole
It
thing.
shakes the whole ship.
Yeah. Did you manage to get home without getting seasick on that one?
Yeah, I did.
Well, you did all right. You should have joined the Navy.
Yeah, I was doing all right.
Where did you actually come back into America?
New York.
New York? What did you think of that Statue of Liberty?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah. I have yet to understand why they didn't tip over every ship they took in there, because it seemed like everybody just rushed to that side to look at
Yeah,
it.
to look at it.
And what about, you got back 45, probably,
1945.
see, May, June, probably about June or so. The war was still going on in Japan at that time, wasn't it? Or did you get back after?
The war was over in Japan.
Okay. All right, so it would have
They
been.
dropped that bomb in August.
Oh, that's right. You went back in November. Okay. What was the reception you got when you got into New York? Were people pretty friendly to you? Did they have any kind of banners or
Yeah, they
anything?
had banners and bands and
Ah,
the whole bit.
so, from New York, did you go to what, Camp Shanks or Dick's, or
No, I come to Fort Knox.
you went straight to Fort Knox? Okay.
That's where I was discharged.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Did they offer you to stay in for a little bit longer?
Yeah, they asked me to.
Yeah.
Offered me a sergeant rating.
I take it you didn't jump at it.
But I had enough of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides, I was married.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, were you married before you went over?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got married in November after I enlisted in August.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, tell me the story there. What was your wife's name?
Golda,
What is it?
Golda,
Golda? Okay. And what was her maiden name?
Lob.
Okay. And how'd you meet her?
Well, we joined farms,
Okay.
and we went to school together from kindergarten on up.
Ah, okay.
And we started dating when I was about 17.
Remember where you went on your first date?
Went to a movie.
Ah, okay. Do you remember the movie?
No, I don't remember that.
Then it must have been a good first date. Yeah. So, when you proposed to her, was it a big fancy proposal, or did you just
No.
say, "Hey, you want to get
No,
married"?
I just asked her.
Yeah.
She'd marry me
Do you remember where you were when you asked her?
at our home.
Okay.
We was out in the yard sitting on a big rock in our backyard.
Yeah.
And she went in and told her dad and mom.
And her dad didn't come out with a big club, so it must have worked out okay.
No, he seemed pretty glad of it.
Good, good. Sometimes that's more important than winning her over.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, 'cause I was kind of afraid of him.
Yeah. Kind of a rough guy, or?
Well, he wasn't really, but to me, he was.
I think to all boys in that situation.
Yeah.
Daughter's dad is a pretty rough guy. Where did you actually get married?
In Jeffersonville,
Okay.
Indiana.
Oh. You went to a foreign country to get married.
Yeah.
And you remember in a church or
No, it was Justice of the Peace.
JP? Okay. All right. And so, how long were you married?
65 years.
65 years. Is she still around, or?
No, she died, 3 years ago.
Oh. Wow. 65
She
years.
passed away about 3 years ago.
Okay. Well, and tell me about the children you had.
Had 5.
Had 5 children. What are their names and a little bit about each one?
Well, Randy was the oldest.
Yeah.
Rod there was the second. Reed was the third one. Rosemary, she's over there. She was the 4th.
Yeah.
And Rick was the 5th.
So you did okay then.
Yeah.
If they're anything like Rod, you did all right. Rod's a good guy.
Yeah, they was all good kids.
Yeah. Now, how much more? Now, you were in a situation where you had been in combat, and then you have one of your own go into combat.
Yes.
That had to be kind of tough.
It was tough. That's 1 year I didn't sleep well.
Yeah. It's one thing to have never been in combat and to send your children into it, but it's another thing to know what they're
Another
facing.
thing.
He send you back letters saying, "Oh, don't worry, Mom and Dad, everything's okay."
Yeah, he did that.
Did you believe it?
No,
I didn't think
I
so.
knew kind of what he was going through.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably tougher on Mom than anybody, but
Yeah, she
not easy on Dad.
was worried sick.
Yeah. So, when you got home, who was there to meet you when you got home?
When I got home,
Yes, when you got home, who was there to meet you?
Well, there wasn't anybody.
Yeah.
We met them,
Okay.
went home.
Bet your mom was glad to see you.
Yes, she was.
They do anything special for you that night? They
I can't remember if they
Yeah.
did or not.
just good to be home.
Good to be home.
Did you do anything special when Rod got home?
Do what?
Did you do anything special when Rod got home?
No, not anything special.
Yeah. Just happy to see him.
I think maybe we went to a bar or two.
And this was taken just before you shipped out at Fort Dix. We'll just go from left to right. You can tell me each one of these guys' names and a little something about each one, right? Don't think so?
And if I'm right, this handsome fella right here, in the center of the screen,
Back row.
back row,
We think that's you. You know how many you came back with out of the original group? Do you know how many came back out of the original group?
No, I don't know just how many, but there wasn't too many.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just saw something there. There's one fellow standing there with his rifle.
Huh.
Nobody else has one.
He's making sure nobody moves when they take the picture. Yeah, look at a picture like this and you say, how many of them actually came back? And even these days you can say how many of them are still here.
Yeah. There's another rifle.
It's just hard to comprehend that sometimes.
There's two more.
Okay. It's quite a piece. Not too many panoramic shots like this. This is very rare. Okay.
Okay.
There's a handsome fella. Well, he looks like a movie Hollywood leading man, doesn't he? Which one of your kids got your good looks? Rod's holding up his hand. And this is in your recon vehicle.
All right, camera move. I'm gonna come back to that right there.
Okay. That's the end of it.
Okay.
All right. And the middle box. It's quite a collection.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably the most important picture. 65 years. Looks like a pretty
65
special
years.
lady.
Huh?
She looked like a pretty special lady.
She was.
Yeah.
That's the 50th.
That's 50th anniversary there. What made her special to you? What would you say about her that made her really special to
Her
you?
personality.
Good personality? It shows in that picture. Okay, I want to mention before we get any farther along with this that the picture that we had of Paul in the recon vehicle is also found in a book called War Not Forgotten. It's by John P. Souther, Souther. And if it's got Paul in it, it must be a good book. It's written by one of the fellows.
His lieutenant.
His lieutenant? Okay. All right. Yeah. Did you have any fellows you kind of got close to over there?
Pardon?
Did you have any fellows that you kind of got close to and buddied up with while you were over there in Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who in particular would be special to you?
Donald Houston.
Okay. Yeah. Now, tell me about the recon vehicle. How many fellows were actually in that?
6.
There were 6 in there. So was Don one of the fellows, one of the 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else was in the recon?
The commanding officer and the driver
Okay.
and gunners.
Okay.
I was a radio operator.
Well, let's get you back over here again. You, after the war, did you stay in the Louisville area or?
No.
Okay.
I bought the old farm
Okay.
and I thought I wanted it, but I didn't. I farmed it 2 years and moved to Indiana and got a job with General Motors
Okay. Here in Anderson?
in Anderson.
At what, Delco Remy or Guide?
Guide.
At Guide? What'd you do there?
I was a plastic operator.
Okay. Okay. And how many years did you put in with them?
32.
32 years. That's a good place to work then.
It was.
Yeah.
Very good place.
You've been, is there anything else that you've been involved in the community? Scouting or church or?
Well, I go to church.
Yeah.
I belong to the American Legion.
Okay. Yeah. You were in the Lions Club? The Lions Club too? Yeah, you were in the Lions Club as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one? One of the ones in Anderson or?
I'm in Frankton.
In Frankton? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we made good friends with Ernie Lauber, who was with one of the clubs in Anderson. He was a World War II veteran, real nice fellow. Yeah. Well, of all the things you've done in your life, is there anything you haven't gotten around to doing that you wished you could have done?
No, not really.
Just travel anywhere or?
Well, I've done a little traveling after I retired.
Yeah. Did you ever go back overseas to where you'd fought?
No.
Didn't have any desire to?
Didn't
or?
have any desire to.
Yeah. Some fellows want to go back and just see what's there today.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So you did most of your traveling here in the country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've had a good life. You've survived some pretty tough things in your life. Looks like you had a great wife, and I know you have great kids.
Yes, I have. I've been blessed.
You have been. You have been. Good parents, too. You've just been blessed in many ways, and good friends, because people speak very highly of you, the ones who I know who know you. We always ask our veterans to say a few words for posterity. You got any words of wisdom or personal philosophy you kind of go by in life?
Well, not really. I can't think of anything.
Just sound like you pretty much just take one day at a time and
Just take one day at a time.
just be an honest fella.
Being honest.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in you. Well, Private Compton, I want to thank you for taking this time with us tonight and giving us
thank
this interview.
you.
And I want to thank you for your service to our country.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate what you did.